Hey, so today I wanted to share with you a short video introduction about the real estate market in Los Angeles, especially for my foreign buyers. I've been a broker in Europe and in Asia for years during my time in America, and I have a lot of clients coming from Europe or Asia or leaving America to go back to Europe or Asia. And so I felt the need to share some information with my buyers who don't know anything about the process, the purchase process in California, which is very different than the rest of the world. So most of foreign clients buying in California, I have no idea about the double agency system first. As some of you may not know, in the rest of the world, that double agent system that we use in California doesn't exist. In Europe, for example, I'm licensed in the French market in France, and there's only one agent per transaction, so we represent both sides. In China, it's the same. I've sold properties in China, Hong Kong, Singapore. It's the same. Only one agent per transaction. And so for America, and especially everything I'm going to say today is about California specifically. Every state has different regulations, so I'll talk about California today. In California, we have a double agent system where all agents share everything. That means there is one agent representing the seller and one agent representing the buyer in most transactions. It's not always like that. You could have one agent representing both sides, but it's complicated and it's very risky for the agents and for the clients. You cannot really advise on one side without favorizing or unfavorizing, I guess, at the other side. So it's kind of tricky. In California, we tend to do deals with two agents, so both sides are represented and protected, and each agent makes sure to protect the best interest of its client. So, for example, in California, you could do your entire career as a buyer agent representing only buyers and never have any house for sale. Some agents are really, really good at that. I do that a lot, actually. So, and some other agents only represent sellers. They don't like to deal with buyers much. They don't like to do research for their clients, but they are more confident in their skill set with listing properties. So it's a different job. And some agents are good at both. Some agents are good at only one side of the transaction. But just so you know, in California, the price you see in advertising, for example, is that price includes usually 5 to 6% commission total paid by the seller to his listing agent who's going to put the house on the market, and then this listing agent will share that commission, so half of that commission, with any agent called buyer agent who will bring a buyer to that house. So the job as a listing agent is more to market the house. It's not to find a buyer by yourself. Your sellers are paying you commission and are offering commission that they hope will be shared with another agent. They also hope you will market that house to the entire open market. We have a major tool in California for that. It's called the MLS. It's a software system, very advanced, where all the agents, especially the listing agents, share their listings on a common platform. All the agents are licensed and registered on the MLS in California. So as a buyer agent, you have a client who wants to buy a property, you go on the MLS and you have access to the entire market, almost the entire market. Sometimes there are some properties that are off market and not on the MLS, but I'm talking in general. A lot of the homes, I would say probably 95% of the homes are on the MLS when they are on the market. So that's the dual agency system. That's very different from Europe and from Asia, obviously. So as a foreign buyer coming to California, I recommend that you find yourself an experienced buyer agent, like myself, of course, or any other agent, of course. And then with this agent, you will learn the local market and the local system. I can share a little more about that system. So I talked about the dual agency system, the commission sharing. As a buyer coming to California, as I said, you won't have to pay any broker fees. Your own broker who's going to protect you and teach you the market and find a house for you and help you with the transaction. His services are completely paid by the seller. So it's really worth finding a good experienced buyer agent for you It's the same cost and a bad one, so I guess I can only suggest that you find a good one. It will help you make a lot of money on your investment, protect you, make sure you're not liable, you don't make any faults during the transactions and all that. Regarding the process when you find a house, in California, we usually all use a typical contract called the RPA, Residential Purchase Agreement. This contract is standard to most areas of California. So once we find a house that you like, we put an offer on it. That offer consists on that RPA contract with all the details on it. So we fill in that contract. As a buyer, you have a few contingencies. You can get out of the transactions during your inspection period. If you find things that you don't like, I can give you more information about that in a separate conversation, of course. You also have a loan and appraisal contingency on the house. That means that if you don't have your loan, you can back out of the deal. And the appraisal contingency, if the house doesn't appraise by an independent appraiser sent by the bank, if that house doesn't appraise for market value, for the purchase price value, then we'll have to discuss with the lender other options to finance it. But overall, when you find a house, we send that RPA contract, which represents the offer with all the terms on it. The sellers will receive one or more offers. One major difference with Europe, with France, for example, in France, you cannot raise the price. The price listed is the highest price the seller can get. So in France, just to give you an example, whoever sends the full price offer first will get the deal done. So if you're the fastest, you get the deal. Or if you're the one the listing agent likes the most, he will get you the house and favor you over someone else. That's where dual agency makes sense more. And so in America, it's not like that. The price can go up. So if you're the only one buyer, you can send the offer you'd like. Every information is public in America compared to other countries. Most people don't know that in California. In France, for example, in many, many other countries, there is no database of sold properties with the price per square feet and all that. So you can't really compare. And unless you know the market perfectly and you know exactly every house that's sold in the area, which is impossible, you will never be able to compare exactly what the property you're interested in is worth. You will not be able to compare that property with other past sold properties in the area. In America, everything is public. Every sale is recorded, and that information is also easily accessible on the MLS. So your buyer agent will be able to tell you which property sold for what right around the property that you're interested in. So that makes the decision making much easier. You will be able to offer a price that you think is fair, market value, and then you'll go from there. If multiple buyers are interested in the same property, then the price will go up. It will be kind of an auction between the listing agent and the buyer's agents who represent those multiple buyers interested in the property. So the price can easily go up. It's been going up a lot for the past 6 months, but we feel it's going to slow down a little bit over the next couple months. So that's for the process. You get your offer accepted. Again, I can give you way more details in a private conversation, but I'm just giving you the baselines here. If your offer get accepted, we do what we open escrow. Escrow is the period between the day we sign, we all agree on a price and conditions, and we sign the contract, and the day where we exchange basically money against keys. In California, usually it's 30 to 45 days period. It's all handled by a company called Escrow Company. It's a neutral company, it's private, but they work for the government. They make sure everybody's protected. They don't work for one side or the other. They're very neutral, and they usually do a good job at verifying that every document is in order. They also use a second layer of government a backed up company called Title Company. The Title Company makes sure that all title of homes are recorded properly to the right owners and all the paperwork around that. So title and escrow companies are your service providers. It's usually the seller choosing those companies, but again, it's very neutral. The cost is split very standard between the buyer and the sellers. It's quite low compared to Europe. The fees for a buyer, for example, in California are usually less than 1.5% of the transaction, compared to 8.5% in France or over 15% in Belgium, just to give you an idea. So those fees are quite low. So we put an offer in, the offer is accepted. We send all the contract to the escrow company. We open escrow. The escrow period will be 30 to 45 days. During that time, we do our own inspections as buyers and buyer representation. We do inspections, we work on the loan with the lender, and we make sure all the documents are right. The seller are disclosing everything they know about the house. We discuss that. We renegotiate the price if there are some surprises at the inspections and things like that. And we end up closing 30 to 45 days after opening escrow, depending on the contract. You get your keys. The bank will send the money same day. It's very easy, much easier than in Europe, just to give you an idea. And that's it for the escrow process and closing process. I can obviously give you way more information. I've done that for so long. I know this process like the back of my hand. I'll gladly help you buy a house in California. Me and my team, we have all the resources here and the best brokerage in the country to do that. So please contact me for more information. I'm here. I share my knowledge for free as much as I can. We have a saying in California is give to get. So I'll give you everything I can and I'll make sure you're comfortable, and we'll go from there. We'll buy you a great house in California. You'll make a great investment. Over the past 75 years, the properties in California have an average doubled in value every 15 years, no matter what. So it's always a good place to buy. All right? I hope this video was very helpful, and I hope you'll contact me and feel comfortable buying with me or selling with me, of course. I'll see you very soon. Take care and be safe. Bye-bye.